And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the final best of 3 of the night. It is going to be a TvP between Clem and Firefly. Of course, Firefly already popping off earlier today, taking down Hero in a PvP, and now he's up against a Terran in Clem. And if you've been tuning in to our WTL broadcast, you know that Firefly, he may be an underdog, but he can take it to the best of them. He has brought down, I think Firefly has beaten Clem before. In WTL. I could be mistaken. I'm gonna have to double check on that, but I'm pretty sure I've seen Clem losing to Chinese Protoss players before. I can't remember if it was Firefly. It could have been Jeshi. It could have been Jeshi. Jeshi or Firefly, but it's happened before. It could happen again. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Royal Blood. We have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the opponent. We have the the Chinese Protoss player was once and will always be a starving camel, but currently representing the Platinum Heroes, it is Firefly. Here we go. I'm just double checking. As we get into these openers, it's going to be a double gas opener here from Clem, so a little bit more aggressive. He's going to go for a faster factory and going to go for a later expansion. And meanwhile, Firefly just chilling here, going for a gate expand while I quickly check some of these seasons matches. All right, let's have a look here. Where is Starving Camels versus Team Liquid? Where's Team Liquid versus some of these other teams? It's so much to look over. I think the thing that I hate the most is that on Wikipedia, it doesn't actually show the best of 1 matches from WTL, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to like manually look through everything. But I'm sure it's on. To be fair, I'm sure it's on a League of Lack. If we checked, Pappy, if we checked. But for the time being, we're getting into this. And we do see Clem being a little bit cheeky, getting behind the mineral line here. Going to be throwing down that bunker. So far, unscouted by Firefly. He has no idea. This is going to be a rough start for our Chinese Protoss player as the Reaper is moving out across the map and is looking to deny mining here in the natural. But does Firefly care? This is an interesting location for a proxy over behind that gold base. We were casting Estrella earlier today, and he did take a gold against Ryung in this matchup on this map. Can do so. You can try to be a little bit cheeky with that. Shield batteries are thrown down. 2 shield batteries. Oh my god. A little bit of an overreaction here from Firefly. Don't think he's gonna quite need 2, but you do need at least 1 here to take control of the natural and to deal with this pesky bunker as probes are long distance mining. And eventually this is gonna get cleaned up. Eventually. It's just so long here that we're stuck on 1 base. It's gonna be the Hellion that comes in from behind. Oh, it's gonna be getting some of these probes. Firefly in a really awkward position as the Hellion makes its way into the main base. Oh my god. Solid force field. Let's go. As the Hellion does go down. But we have continued Reapers and Hellions being sent across the map. And I mean, thankfully, now I would say that thankfully we do have 2 shield batteries here. So just to barely keep everything alive. But the probes are being focused down. Good target firing out of Clem as the Hellion goes back into the main. 5, 6 probes go down. 7. This is almost game-ending damage. Firefly is going for a ninja base as the gold. Did assume that was going to be the case, but he's already playing from behind. This isn't to get him ahead. This is to stabilize, really. So I appreciate the hidden gold base, but I guess it's necessary, to be honest. After all is said and done, 7 probes went down for 1 SCV and 2 Hellions. Behind this, we are working towards, oh my god, a very early tank production. We have a 2-on-1 setup. Have a tech lab on the starport as well. I imagine for a Raven from Clem, but we'll see what he goes for. Meanwhile, mine drop into the main base. Oh god, the mines are gonna go off. No! Oh, Jesus. So far, one mine shot goes off. The second will go off as well. Oh, the retargeting. He wants the sentries. 3 probes in total. Reapers come back into the natural, and Firefly is being pulled apart. There's that recall. Firefly can resume mining at that gold. The longer this goes on, the more Firefly is going to be able to catch up and keep up with Clem. So despite him sustaining so many losses earlier, like, this is going to help a lot. Will help a lot. Meanwhile, did make a Raven, then straight into an add-on swap. Stim is on the way. Again, working towards a pretty big tank push. Or bio push, I should clarify. Oh, these Reapers are still being such a nuisance. Oh god, are they gonna get the pylon? No shot. Up. Force fields are gonna save the pylon. Reapers go down. Firefly does maintain control of his main base so far. This gold has been unscattered. So far, so good. And now we have a gateway explosion. I assumed that with this gold we were going to go into a big charge all-in, but no, we're going towards Blink instead with +1. Mass Blink Stalkers. Is it going to work well against what Clem has? As Clem is pushing out across the map, we've got 1 tank with the army. We have a Raven for an anti-armor missile or even auto turrets. Technically it can disable, but there's nothing really to disable. There are no high-value targets. And unfortunately, because Firefly has been kept at home, he hasn't seen the move out until now. Big Scout hallucination does confirm the army. He's gonna have to react. He's gonna have to respect it. As Clem is edging ever closer. Up. So far, so good. Decent force fields. And he's going to be able to hold on. Oh. Going to be able to hold on. The army does back off. At the same time, the mine drop tried to come back in, but was deflected in the end. We can see Clem just working towards his next base, towards his third. Also, I did just double check, and it wasn't Firefly, it was Jeshi. Yeah. I knew it was one of them. I was like, was it Firefly or was it Jeshi? It was Jeshi in the end. That did take down Clem in WTL. And looked damn good, to be fair. And here we go. The Zealots are diving on forward. Big anti-armor missile on the Zealots. They're going to get annihilated. Zealots do melt. And even though we got the tank, Clem can just keep on pushing forward. Overcharge, putting in a lot of work, keeping Firefly in this. Again, despite the gold base, despite all those minerals, we still need more production to actually spend those warp-ins. We need more warp-ins, Poppy. More gateways, more gateways. As Clem is just forcing his way forward. Shield batteries are out of energy. The Marauders, oh my god, they're just chewing through so many of these Stalkers. And it looks like we don't have enough time for the next warp-in. Clem has broken into the natural. The gold base has been unscattered, but it doesn't even matter. Zealots do get in across the map. They're getting some damage done, don't get me wrong. But Clem is going uncontested. GG gets called, and Clem will take game number 1. GG. A really powerful start from Clem. Really dictating the pace of the game and going initially for the Reapers and also for the Hellions as well. Was just becoming too much. And yeah, it just gave him a really solid start to the game, and Firefly was just trying to recover from that point. He had very little map presence, very little map control. I'm loving the cams once again. I don't know if you noticed it earlier, but we saw it during the celebration when Firefly beat Hero. I love that Firefly has grapes. I'm loving the grape sticks. He's never gonna be hungry anymore. He's never gonna be hungry. He's well fed. Beautiful. Again, once a camel, always a camel. Always a camel. Oh, it's beautiful. Do they sell those? I want some. They're so big. They're beautiful, Papi. They're beautiful. For context, Firefly's previous team, his team up until a couple of days ago, they were called the Starving Camels. And the logo of the Starving Camels is the camel with some grapes in its mouth. Hence the grapes that we see now. Hence the grapes. Beautiful. And they're new. Maybe they got them after their performance in World Team League. Maybe. Lose with the goal base. Losing with style. Firefly definitely earning style points in that last game. You love to see it. But we'll see if that's going to be enough, because we're now getting into game number 2, which will be taking place on Gressman. You can see the vetoes on the screen before you. You see the bans as well as the picks. Oh. And unfortunately, there is no gold base on Gressman. No way to be cheeky with a hidden base here. I mean, I guess technically you can, but not as effective. And here we go. We're getting into game number 2, and spawning in the top left-hand corner of Gressman, we have the French Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Chinese Protoss player, the best Protoss in all of China, representing the Platinum Heroes, but also a camel at heart. It is Firefly. Beautiful. Here we go. So far, so good. I mean, we're just getting into some standard openers here, but yeah, I want to believe that Firefly can kind of bring it back. I want to believe that he can bring it back here and now to the ace match at least. Like, it was so exciting to see him overcome Hero. Of course, that's a mirror matchup, and PvPs are a little bit different, of course. But I wonder what Firefly can bring to the table against Clem. If you're unfamiliar with Firefly, and if maybe you weren't tuning into the World Team League broadcasts, Firefly, he's a very creative player. I think that's probably the best way to put it. That was the great thing about the Starving Camels, about his team, is that Firefly, Silky, Tudming, they would all kind of come up with very unique, like, sniper builds, basically. And they'd be able to, like, punch up and take down stronger teams like Team Abydos or Shopify Rebellion and stuff like that. They were able to, yeah, really show off and go toe-to-toe with players that are thought to be better than them, like Creator and Scarlet and Clem, for example, right? Yeah, it was a beautiful storyline for their team. Now the question becomes, can that be reflected in a 1v1 setting, right? It's like team leagues are different. Team leagues are shorter series, and on top of that, you know your match ahead of time. You know your map ahead of time, so you can kind of prepare accordingly. A 1v1 setting like this, it is a little bit different, and this time we do see a Twilight Council opener from Firefly. Okay, very similar to the previous game. Likewise, he's able to mine from his natural. No bunker. Let's go. Already a better start for Firefly. Doesn't have to worry too much about any kind of harassment in his mineral line or anything else going on. As a probe, it does get sniped across the map. And Firefly, he's going to have a much more standard opener here. He's going to have a much more comfortable start to this game. We have our wall off. Speaking of, the Reaper cliff has been walled off as well in the main. With the shield battery, with the SimCity. Firefly again looking quite solid here on 2 bases. Back across the map, we do see with that double gas opener, it is going to be a Widowmine drop opener from our Terran player. As the Reapers do go up the ramp. Going to be threatening that pylon. And how many gateways do we have to work with as well? We have 1 in the main, we have 2 in the natural, so it's going to be a 3-gate Blink Stalker opener. Not too committed, is enough to gain map control and to assert yourself, but typically you do expand behind this and you work towards a 3rd. So everything's looking pretty standard and very macro-oriented out of Firefly. Everything is looking as it should. Once again, Clem going for a faster tank, going for a faster Raven. So far, this is a very similar opener to what we saw previously, except for, of course, no like commitment to Reapers and Hellions. So more efficient from Clem this time. Mind Drop comes in, and again, really good retargeting here. It looks like one of those mines is not going to go down. Oh god! 2 probes in total. 1 mine does escape. And this is going to force Firefly to keep army in the main. We have some tied up supply here in the main base to make sure the drop doesn't go back in. Meanwhile, back at home, we do have our 3-1-1 setup. 3 Raxes, 1 factory, 1 starport. Add-on swap for stim, just like game 1. Very methodical gameplay here out of Clem. But again, Firefly this time, his economy has been left untouched for the most part, outside of losing a couple of probes. But he's able to get his 3rd up and running, able to saturate it. And yeah, things are settling down. As I say, they're settling down. Raven comes in to try to distract the army. We do see Hellions and Reapers dipping in towards the 3rd base. We still have that drop to go into the main as well, and probes are going down. Really well done. 5 workers in total. Clem just pulling apart the attention of Firefly and not really committing too much, right? Like, it was energy from the Raven, and really the Reaper and Hellion have served their purposes. You know, they've kind of been outscaled as the game goes on. Adept does shade into the main and does get eyes on the 3rd base, so Firefly knows it's not going to be a 2-base all-in, but it's going to be a pretty hefty attack nonetheless. We've got 2 tanks, good amount of Marines and Marauders. Stim and combat shields are still a ways off, but once they kick in, Clem will be active. Meanwhile, it's really interesting that despite this being a 3-gate Blink Stalker opener, Firefly has been really passive. Typically with this opener, you can be active, right? You can vie for map control, you can shut down the Reaper and the Hellion and move out and even poke away and deny any kind of greedy 3rd. But no, Firefly has been staying at home. He hasn't really seen too much. We saw 1 Adept get across the map, but that's kind of it. Firefly just being very defensive here instead. It's very possible that maybe game 1 did scare him a little bit. Well, it was a pretty intense game 1, to be fair. But he's just chilling at home, taking his gases, working on Immortals, charges on the way. Very gateway heavy composition. There's no robotic spade for Colossus, no disruptors, no storm, no splash damage. Just very reliant here on Zealots. And here comes that push. Here comes Clem. And again, typically with a Blink Stalker opener, you would be active on the map with Blink Stalkers. You would see this coming ahead of time. Firefly has no vision on the map, no observer, which is also really surprising. No observer was made or lost. The observers are with the army instead, and here we go. We do see Clem just situating himself, wedging himself in between these bases. Raven does meet up with the army. Bit of friendly fire earlier. But with this Raven, we can even throw down an anti-armor missile. And Clem is just slowly working his way towards that natural. Here we go. We do see Firefly collapse on this army. There's that anti-armor missile, but we do take down the tanks and the Widow Mines. Firefly going to be forcing this back. Has to be careful not to overextend. This is still a pretty terrifying force. Firefly will back off. But that was a good cleanup. You know, he got the tanks, got the Widow Mines, got what mattered. We can see Clem reinforcing, getting ready for a second wave towards that third. Observer should be spotting this. Does barely catch wind of the army position. Meanwhile, we have a Prism slipping into the main. Making its way into the main base. And what do we have at home to defend? We do have some reinforcements at the natural, but we have a massive warp it into the main. There we go. Clem is forced to react. And so far, really good positioning here with the Sim City. Oh my god, the Zealots, they do nothing. The main armies are going to be clashing. The Raven goes down. Good pick off for Firefly. But Pure Stalkers against a Marauder composition, oof, is not going to trade well. Meanwhile, we have more Zealots heading towards that third. Gonna be trading okay here, but a good hold position from these SCVs. Zealots do clean up the Marines and Marauders, but not much else. As Clem does turn around, he goes back home, cleans this up. And the Warp Prism is forced to rotate back around. Still no splash damage, which I'm really concerned by. I don't think we have enough Zealots here to deal with this. Yeah, GG is going to get called. It's just too much. And Clem will take game number 2 and the series 2-0. Oh, GG. Again, this army from Firefly designed to snowball out of control, designed to get some good engagements, especially out on the map as well. Didn't really come together for Firefly, and really powerful performance out of Clem. Really strong TvP. Brings down Firefly. He does what Hero couldn't. And congratulations. With that, we do see our matchups for tonight. A little bit of spoilers in a way. Of course, the matches did occur. We did collect replays from the previous games, and we'll be casting them in a couple of days to catch up on everything that's been going on all things Masters Coliseum. But we are done for tonight. Back to back, we casted ESL Asia into Masters Coliseum. As a reminder, this is a group stage, a round robin group stage. Everyone plays everyone, and this was day 1. This was day 7. Day 1 of Group B. And we have day 2 of Group B tomorrow. The conclusion of this group. Top 3 make it out. And so far, we have some pretty impressive standings. We do have Creator on top, followed by Rainer, followed by Hero and Firefly, who are tied up. Oh my god. Hero, Firefly, and Clem are all tied up. So a really close group so far. And really, we're going to be distinguishing ourselves and distinguishing the players starting tomorrow to find out who makes it out and who doesn't. It's still anyone's game. Anyone's game. A very big group, very powerful group. So yeah, with that, thank you so much for watching, everyone. Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate it. And yeah, hope everyone had a great time. We're gonna be live again in 9 hours. We're gonna be live in 9 hours with ESL Open Cup Americas. I'm very torn. I'm pretty tired. We'll see if I wake up in time for ESL Americas. It's in 8.5 hours, actually. So I may be live with that. Otherwise, I may decide to sleep in and just cast the next day of Masters Coliseum. We'll see. We'll see what we do. Regardless, hope everyone had a great time and enjoyed themselves. ! Socials in the chat if you guys want to follow us elsewhere. If you want to follow us on the social medias, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Discord, we'll let you know. We will let you know when we go live. Otherwise, you can also follow us on Patreon. We have Patreon, we have a YouTube channel. We're all over the place. And shall say, be careful. that goddamn ad. But yeah, I hope everyone had a great time, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more Masters Coliseum and potentially for ESL Open Cup Americas. ESL Open Cup Asia, I think, is starting soon. It's starting in 1 hour. I'm not staying for that. I'm not. No. Pappy Veg. Veg would be amazing. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Shout out to Kuro as well. Kuro has been handling the production today and was collecting replays earlier as well, so we can cast later on. So much love to Kuro, as Kuro is also going to be handling the production tomorrow as well. So yeah, there you go. With that, thanks so much for watching, everyone. Thanks so much for your support. Stick around. We're going to be giving another StarCraft streamer a raid. Not too sure who, but we'll give our support to someone. Give them a chance. Give them some love. Give them some support. Until then, we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Bye. Hasta luego.